just going to be really, really honest from the start here. I'm not a Chris Sims guy. Never have been. I'm a diehard Longhorn fan. Couldn't stand him on the team. Couldn't stand his dad. Hated everything that they were about. So I've never been a Chris Sims guy. I understand Chris Sims and Kyle Shanahan are besties. They got tattoos of each other. All that stuff. Fine. Here's KAD's question. How do you feel about Chris Sims ranked the 49 for all the quarterbacks on his top 4? He did it. He does a top 40 quarterbacks ranking list every year. Trey Lance wasn't even on there, right? He wasn't even on top 40. And so I'm just going to be honest. I blocked Chris Sims a long time ago. I do not subscribe to that type of journalism. Do I think he's a bad guy? No. I just don't think that he provides anything for my value or my benefit as, a 49ers content curator. Shout out to Big Papa or whatever the hell you want to call me, YouTuber, whatever, podcaster, don't care. I take nothing of value away from what he creates. I just don't. You're around Mike Florio, only bad things are good. Birds of feather flock together, man. That's just reality. Now, just because I don't like him, just because I disagree with his entire stance and modus operandi on how to do this job, he makes way more money than I do. I don't think that's a measure for doing quality work, however. And he's trying to get reactions. That's all he tries to do. It's clickbait. That's who he is. So anyway, I don't like it, but let's go through it. Let's talk a little bit about where the Niners quarterbacks have ranked. He had Brock Purdy 26. He had Sam Darnold 27 and Trey Lance not even on there. He went to 40, not even on there, which is funny to me. But that's okay. He's been anti-Trey Lance way before the Niners picked him. And that's cool. Again, you're around Mike Florio. You're going to have some crazy stuff. All right. So I went back and looked at what he did last year, right? Because again, all right, let's see how well he did last year. It was really, really bad. He had Trey Lance ranked 31 last year. Now he's out of the rankings. He had Zach Wilson 22. Last year, he had Deshaun Watson 4, Russell Wilson 5, Kyler Murray 7, Stafford 8, Baker 13, Matt Ryan 15, Carson Wentz 18. He had Cam Newton 20th, and he had Kellen Mond 37th. So, I don't know, man. If you wanted to talk about just as bad of rankings as you could possibly have in the history of mankind, just look at what he did last year. And again, this dude, anytime somebody mentions Chris Sims, Kellen Mond is the first thing that comes to mind. Texas A&M quarterback that was drafted by Minnesota, I think in the second round, maybe second or third round. He had Kellen Mond as his number 2 quarterback out of that draft. It was I forget. It was just bad. I mean, just terrible. And I remember doing Kellen Mond's film because after Chris Sims put out that ranking in the draft process, everybody's like, oh, Kellen Mond. And so then I went and watched his tape and I was like, this dude sucks. It's terrible. It's awful. Kellen Mond's probably a great dude, but his tape was awful. His pro day was worse. And whenever the Vikings drafted him, Mike Zimmer, who I love as a personality, wouldn't even allow him to suit up throughout his whole rookie year because he was just so bad. And they've moved on from him, whatever else. But yeah, anytime I think Chris Sims, I just think Kellen Mond. Now, I'm wrong on players all the time. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say this dude has a narrative that he is trying to spin, and it's there. You look at this year's rankings that he's already put out. I think he's only gone through 20, which he has Mac Jones at 20. Mac Jones is at 20. Mac Jones threw 14 touchdowns and 11 interceptions this year. Mac Jones was not good. You look at, again, Brock Purdy, who he had, what's he got at? 20, was it 26? Yeah. 6 spots below Mac Jones? You got to be kidding me. Brock Purdy threw 13 touchdowns and 4 picks. He had 1 less touchdown pass than Mac Jones, and he played in 5 regular season games. 5. That's it. Oh, yeah, it's just a joke. Baker, he's got at 24, who was run off of 3 teams. You have Baker Mayfield ahead of all these guys. It's awesome. Finished with 10 touchdowns, 8 picks. Judd, he says, no, Sims is influenced by listening to Kyle in the offseason. They're best friends. Although Kyle doesn't tell him plans, obviously. They talk football. I'm sure they do. It leads Sims to these answers. Yeah, and there was a clip that I used to have. I'm sure I could find it somewhere, but he's like, yeah, this is why I don't talk football with Chris, because anything I say, he's going to take it and run with it. So, I don't talk football with Chris. Like, he came out and said, like, I can't, because I know he's going to run with it. And so, it's just what they are. That's his job. Chris is doing his job. He's getting clicks. We're talking about a show, right? So good for him. He's got Kenny Pickett 25th ahead. Good gosh. How do you have Kenny Pickett ahead of Brock Purdy? That's bullshit, man. Kenny Pickett had more interceptions than touchdowns last year. It's a joke. Yatsik, my man, he texted me earlier today. Did y'all see Kenny Pickett's car got stolen? That sucks. Like, it's not funny. But he had his playbook in the car when it got stolen, and they found it and still had the playbook in the car. Like, that's kind of funny. I like that Kenny Pickett's got it with them and hopefully using it. I don't know. But that week 1 game, Yatsik texted me like, man, I bet the 49ers stole it. And then I was like, man, I don't think they have to. Matt Canada is the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. He's the most boring, bland, predictable. That playbook's pretty funny, though. Anyway, but yeah, to have Kenny Pickett, Baker Mayfield, Mac Jones ahead of Brock Purdy, that's stupid. It's just stupid. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, it's just trash. That's okay. I hope he does well. One of my favorite things to say, like, just because, like, I don't want any of his content in my life because I don't think it provides any value, right? Because I know he's just talking out of his ass all the time. But doesn't mean I want bad things for him. I don't like the dude, but I hope he does well. I feel that way. When you could get to the point, like, look, I don't like Mac Jones. I don't think he's a good dude. I think he's a bad dude. I really, really do. You look at all those personal fouls he gets whenever he throws those picks. I don't think he's a good teammate. I don't think he's very coachable. I don't think any of those things, just based off all the research I've done on him. Doesn't mean I want Mac Jones to do bad. That's not what it is. I'm telling you, based on his play and his character, to put him ahead of Brock Purdy, that's stupid. That is stupid. It's ignorant. Anyway, I digress.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.